Now I'm waiting. It's been anticipation stacked on anticipation. So good and bad. I'm waiting for my transportation back to the clinical psychologist to get the results. I filmed parts of it. Now I'll see how I did. Will I still love myself if I see the results? Boy. Lunchtime. I'm hopeful, excited and scared at the same time. My 2 cameras, 2 tripods. Yes, this is it.
Oh. So I'll just briefly tell you. So there were several different kinds of tests you took.
Yes.
So we really test a lot of different areas of the brain, and there's some overlap. And then I had you do some on the computer because they're timed. And I did that on purpose. I'm pretty comprehensive when I do this. Some things that you did were intact, what we call intact. So honestly, to me, it's a miracle you're alive after what you told me.
Yes.
Apparently you're here for a reason, otherwise you wouldn't be alive. So it's kind of a miracle, and also just modern medicine wasn't here, you wouldn't be here.
Yes,
So that's kind of good. Something's called working memory. And what it means is the memory we're doing at the time. The thing is, overall, you still got an average score, which is good. So you retained a lot of stuff. So, and you're doing the right thing. I mean, you were telling me that you were actually doing your own therapizing. But that was very good. I mean, so I was happy about some of the stuff. Like, okay, some of the stuff is fairly good there. So I think a lot of the difficulties you'll have will be like attention and concentration, processing speed. But it's very interesting because some areas in attention and concentration, you're much better than other areas. And it's the way the brain works. Information comes at you too fast. That's the processing speed thing.
Sometimes at work, it's always constant. It's quick.
I would think so.
And it's actually, I do pretty well at work, except forgetting sometimes the memory.
You're doing good that you're even working. No, really, I was
miracle.
amazed that you could even be working.
Absolutely. Walking, talking, everything.
And if you can do it, it's better to stay active and do things than not. You do have some strengths within these things. So for you, using visual things made some of your attention, you were above average. Some are below average, and we expect that. You'll see some variability. Things are consistent with TBI, but everybody's different. But there's a lot of connections in there too. And you're at a point now, after the head injury, that stuff's going to be more stable versus right after the injury. I mean, we can't tell where you're going to be. So you're kind of at the good stage there. So in general, what you need to remember is the memory was variable. Some areas were stronger than others. Now, this could get better. We don't know. A lot of it can be with processing speed, and we'll talk about that. The neurologist, because once he reads this, he may prescribe something for you. Now, you have seizures, right?
Yes.
So the one they have to be careful of is, does it? So some of the meds that they can give you that will increase processing speed also will. So
I take methylphenidate, which is
a
stimulant.
Okay. So you are doing that already.
Yes.
So let me stop here just for kind of a little bit of fun and tell you what you understand or remember to this point of what I just told you. It's not a memory test, it's
just the basics of what I was good at and what was I bad at.
Okay, good.
The word was weak and below average.
And so was
just
above
levels.
average.
Yeah.
And do you remember anything more when I said about the IQ
That
test?
I was visual, and you gave me cues of that I could see it.
Okay, good.
Yes.
And the processing speed, that's an important thing to remember. It's being recorded.
Yeah, and asking people to.
Processing speed is one of the things that's playing a big role in a lot of the stuff. So it takes time for the brain to register stuff. I mean, you're doing well given where you are with this process. So you got to keep on remembering that. And always remember your visual is stronger than your auditory. You did pretty well in some of your language skill stuff.
Yeah.
So that was good. And you converse fairly well. You had some difficulties. It's interesting.
Also, now, because I've done so much therapy.
You did very well. That was low average. You do some of it, and you're doing visual stuff. Plus, it was still there. You have that intact. It was weak. It was low average. The weak part, you remembered parts of it, but your organization wasn't that good. When you were at the 27th percentile, but not bad. I mean, it could be a lot worse. They can be very, very different. It's really good. Yeah, I mean, because you're retraining the brain.
All four sets of my brain.
Right, but I'm surprised you preserved a lot. So again, some variability, but I'm glad that a lot of the frontal and executive functioning was intact. Now maybe it's not as high as it would have been before the head injury, but I'm glad to see it's pretty close. And again, I feel if we were probably to look at your brain, you'd have a lot of connections that we don't typically see because it's rewiring itself. I'll bet we'd see a lot of coherences that like this not typical, except someone had a head injury. What you're doing is really good. It's hard work. So like you are making a difference for yourself. We did have some of the working memory, which is also short-term memory. There was some inefficient coding of information, some impaired retrieval. Again, not any surprise, but at least we documented. Your language was pretty intact. You had some word retrieval difficulties.
A lot of things I could describe, but I might not remember that.
Right. And you did that. You did that in the testing, which was interesting too. Overall, everything was supportive of what we call a major neurocognitive disorder due to traumatic brain injury. You have some executive dysfunction and memory impairment, and then all consistent with your injuries, and no surprise really. I also put in here personality change and mood disorder can be due to the TBI. That's possible. So there probably has been some change in your personality that I don't see because I didn't know you before the injury. Mom and dad might see that.
Yes.
Because
sometimes I'll do something that was just like the old Chelsea.
Right.
Or one of my sisters had said, "Where did the old Chelsea
go?" Right. So, well, all that stuff is in there and it gets jumbled up. So you're still there. It's just certain things are connections, and some of it could just be because of what you have to deal with, frustration, getting down about stuff, and that can affect us. I'll tell you some of the recommendations I had. So I recommended that you have more cognitive rehabilitation, but it should be focusing on processing speed, see if they can speed that up, working memory, which is related, and executive functioning. You can use structured and repetitive approaches. I actually told them what to do. If this went to Brooks, they know exactly what I'm talking about. Also, who does your finances for you?
I do.
Okay, how do you do that?
And I have an Excel spreadsheet that I work.
How does that work for you?
I designed an Excel spreadsheet for myself
really
to make sure the income and the outcome and
it's
very all
good.
Organized.
Because I was worried about that.
Yeah.
Something. If you have something that's going to be kind of complicated, you have to make thoughts about who are your people you rely on to do this. Like if something's, I don't want you to.
I do it all myself.
Yeah, be careful if it's more complicated. It's fine. I know you're a competent person, but if you have to run it by one of your sisters or your parents.
They haven't dealt with my money for
not your money. I'm talking about decision making. You have to make a decision about something.
Yeah. I could totally do that. I decided to get transportation here. I figured this all out.
I noticed.
I figured out to get here. To find you.
That's pretty impressive.
It took me months to find you.
Well, I know Mindy. She said, I said something to her and she forgot and she called back and I said, well, yeah, that's part and parcel.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, if you have any problem, ask somebody. Because I ask people all the time. Also, not you're going to do this, but I also said vocational guidance for structured or low demand kind of jobs. You may be able to do stuff.
We are.
Yeah, but minimal multitasking. Minimal multitasking. So anything you do, it can't be, at least now, multitasking, because it'll be too much. It'll be too
No,
stressful.
I multitask as a hostess. I have
Right.
to walk the person to the table, remember where I'm going,
Right.
remember where
And
the
you do
table
okay with
is,
that?
and remembering the rotation, having to remember like 3 or 4 things at the same
That's
time,
pretty
which
good.
I can do.
That's pretty good.
Totally do.
And
I
then,
definitely feel like the test is just a test. If it's applied, those things that are applied in life,
right.
is it? Do you think it maybe could be different versus compared to the test? The paper
Yeah,
test?
it can. I mean, if you like, there's always been a discussion in neuropsychology about should we have practical tests versus these type of tests.
Yeah.
And there's some people, there's both sides of that. The thing is, practical tests take a lot of time. So if
Yeah.
you want to put a person through a series of tasks, you're talking about weeks. They're trying to get it, and we get a good idea of what's going on. But yeah, I mean, if you have like a thing that goes off, sounds like a dog or a bell or something.
It's a medication reminder
Oh, do you have
app
to take it
that
now?
I do, but I didn't bring it.
How long do you have before? Does the person know when they're going to pick you up?
So now I have to
Call them now, because I mean you can wait, but I just want, especially since you said seizure med.
No, I'm fine.
It kind of lingers over. Okay.
Yeah.
That's my
And I
most.
get auras. I'll get a feeling of what a seizure
Okay.
happens.
I think you told me you were actually able to defeat them a little bit.
Yes, I've
Yeah.
stopped multiple
You said
seizures.
that tongue drum was helping you too.
What?
Or the drum, I forget which kind of drum it was.
Oh,
You said-
transcendental meditation.
Yeah, yeah. You said you actually, and I thought, yeah, we do that, so that's been taught. And then I said follow-up neuropsychological evaluation in 12 to 24 months to monitor changes or adjustment. Now, probably be more like 2 years, but I just
Would
did
it
that.
take this test, you mean?
It wouldn't be, you don't have to take the exact same, all of
But
it.
a kind of.
At least some part of it to see how, like, I mean, I don't think it'll get worse, but like, if it's better, you can see like because you're constantly doing, I mean, if we tested you 5 years ago, it would look great, now it's looking a lot better, and the more you're doing stuff, the more it's going to look better. So I'm out of time, but do you have any questions at all that you want to ask me? I fed a lot to you. And the neurologist has a full copy of this.
Yes.
I mean, you've got it on recording too. I mean, you're doing a lot of what we want you to do anyway.
Yeah.
My thing is we have good documentation. I've also made documented recommendations. This kind of stuff is really good with Social Security because over time they review you. Well, with this report, they can't ever, maybe 10 years from now they'll try to deny it, but they can't. And that's another reason why it's good to follow up. Oh, also I put, if you can, and Brooks has different locations. There's one on West Side too. I think there's ones where you live. I said, well, for some reason I thought you lived like near Eagle Harbor or something.
No.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay.
I live in Gainesville.
Gainesville. Then they would have it there in Gainesville. Are you seeing someone there who's a psychologist who works with TBI people?
I see a psychiatrist and a neurologist.
Where's your neurologist? I thought your neurologist was over here.
No.
Your neurologist is in
Gainesville.
Gainesville.
Chance.
Okay, that might have been why they referred you to me because I did my residency at Chance and they know about me. Because you
I found you because
Oh, you
there
did?
was no one in Gainesville that accepted my insurance.
That's
No
probably
one.
true. Yeah.
I looked in the area which is a problem-solving skill. Finding
You
you
did good.
was
Yeah, I'm sure it was a
was
nightmare.
part of the
It's
test.
a nightmare problem solving.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
Yeah, I mean, stop. I was joking. We're done anyway, so we could be running out of juice for something.
Probably. Well, thank you for saying.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Did you want to shut these down?